So, starting with that, how far in advance do you have to plan out a dinner party?
So that's a good question. And like most things, I don't have a straightforward, simple answer.
Okay.
Because in the process of crafting the service, you've pre-planned a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
This is what separates the Chef Lisa Brooks way from all the other ways.
Mm-hmm.
Our menu is... What's up, y'all? Chef Lisa Brooks in the building, along with CK. Cynthia is here. And today on this episode, we are going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, dinner parties, and how you actually execute a dinner party from start to finish. You ready to do this?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You know this is my favorite thing to talk
I was just going to say, so is this one of your favorite things?
Yes,
right
honey.
here? Because I know it's one of my favorite things that you did. Because your dinner parties are phenomenal.
Thank you.
Well, let's jump right into it.
Let's do. This is the anatomy of a dinner party.
Okay. All right. So starting with that, how far in advance do you have to plan out a dinner party? One of your dinner parties.
Okay. So that's a good question. And like most things, I don't have a straightforward, simple answer.
Okay.
Because honestly, in the process of crafting the service, you've pre-planned a bunch of things.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like you already have in advance when you create the dinner party experience before it's ever up on your website. You've got your menu, like post it, like what you're doing. You already have a pre-plan for how you're plating things, etc. So I just want to say that, and I know we'll maybe dig into it a little bit later. So now to the simple answer to the question is, depending on your menu, you may prepare no more than 3 days in advance. And when I say prepare, I'm talking about your planning.
Right.
Like, okay, let me go ahead. I have a dinner party on Saturday. Today's Wednesday. Let me go ahead and, first of all, in my business and what I teach is that you always call the customer 72 hours before the call. Okay. So that's really that sparks the beginning of when we're now focused on this dinner party.
Okay. Right.
The 72-hour pre-call. I have a whole script for that call and how it should flow. What we're obtaining, the information we're obtaining during that call. The 72-hour pre-call is the check-in to be sure we're on the same page for the dinner party coming up in 3 days.
Okay.
So a client may have booked this 3 months ago, 6 months ago, or 2 weeks ago. Either way, what we don't want, I never want a client emailing or calling saying, "Hey, are we still on for Saturday?" Right. I hate that. Right. So we want to be in communication, with them leading up to this. But that 72-hour pre-call it's the final day they could potentially make changes, add people, make any alterations. So it's the point at which, we need to know, hey, this is the address, right? This is the menu you selected, right? This is the time we're going to arrive, correct? Are there any, instructions for entering their neighborhood or a gate code or like all of those things, just to make sure we're on the same page. There's no surprises, no miscommunication. This is the time to verify everything. And then once we're like, yep, locked in, check, now I can make my shopping list. Okay. And proceed to, make the shopping list, make out my production plan for the actual flow of the night, the 3 hours. How am I planning it out? And then, depending on what type of prep has to be done, because there is some prep, like if I need to marinate something or whatever, then we're doing that really like the day before. And then really the day of the event, you're just grabbing your groceries, your go bag, and heading out to the event.
Okay. So in the process of your planning and doing these things, is your menu determined based on your client, or does the client come to the menu, so to speak, if that makes sense?
It does make sense.
Okay.
And this is what separates the Chef Lisa Brooks way from all the other ways. It's kind of one of my sticking points. It's one of my non-negotiables for me and the folks I coach. Our menu is crafted with intention.
Okay.
So if I sit down to do my spring summer menu, for example, and I have crafted this menu based on what I want to express about myself, about my journey, about my family, where I come from, all of those things are in my menu. I am presenting what I do best. I'm presenting a story, of course, which leads to that whole experience, right? And so, just like any restaurant you go to, imagine for a second, you walk into a restaurant and you sit down, and the server comes and says, "What would you like?" And you're like, "Well, can I get a menu?" "Oh, we don't have menus." "Well, just what you feel like." You know what? Okay, so I have to now do the work. Like I just need to figure out what I want to know is what you guys are best at. Is this a fish joint, barbecue joint? Like, what we doing? It's Italian. Like, what does the chef do best? But what these entrepreneurs are doing, who are out here winging it, as you know, they are doing just that. Phone rings. Well, we want to have we're having a birthday party. Okay. Well, what do you want? What did you have in mind for your menu? And I can tell you this, the inexpensive, the cheap client, the tire kicker client that you don't want, that you're complaining about, that's the type of interaction that you're going to have at that level. A high-end client, a wealthy client, someone who is just operating at a different level, they don't have time for that. They have money, and what money buys them is time, right? And they use their time to make more money. So they don't have time to go back and forth with you about a menu. Like, I want to come to you. You're going to solve my problem. I'm going to pay you for that, right? And so you're making a client do the work if you don't have, like, you're not presenting your product. You're not presenting your service. So the menu is already it's already planned, it's already posted, it's already on my website for people to see, and they make selections from it. Right?
Okay.
They make selections from the menu. There's 3 or 4 or 5 options depending on under each course. And you select one item from each course to create your own journey, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so so when people are doing it the opposite way, it creates not an 11-star experience for the client, for sure. It makes them do the work. And the thing that it does on your part as the chef is now, because you got this menu just placed in your lap, right, that may or may not represent you, may or may not be your strong suit, whatever the case may be. You have no idea how to price it, because now you got to go figure out how to price it. So now you're 3-4 days getting a quote back to this person. Meanwhile, they didn't call Heart and Soul. They got a quote in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. And so that's what puts you above everyone else. You have to do things in a way that are intentional. So the client selects from your menu. Hey, have you ever wondered what type of personal chef business is actually the best fit for you? Like, should you be doing private dinner parties, meal prepping, or vacation gigs? Look, I got you. I created a free quiz that will tell you exactly which business model makes the most sense for your lifestyle, your strengths, and your goals. And it takes just 2 minutes to complete. At the end, you'll get a personalized roadmap that'll show you how to earn more while working less and the exact steps you need to get started. Don't waste time guessing. Hit the link in the description, take the quiz, and start building the personal chef business that's right for you.
So again, this sounds like a completely different category to me. And we talked about this in a different episode, as to how, you have the personal chef, the private chef, and again, what I consider you're doing, that we still have to come up with a name for. But as you're talking, what struck me is when you were saying crafting the experience, but also as far as when people think about, okay, I have to have a budget, because typically the way, from my understanding again, is that, you see something, you cost, oh, so-and-so cooks, let me call them and say, hey, listen, I need a dinner party, and I've got like 8 folks that are coming over, 10, however many it will be. And a lot of times the first question you get is, what's your budget? Right. So you're doing it in such a way as to, it's already laid out there for you. So when I go to your website, then I look at this and I already know, it's like, Okay. So it's already laid out. So
Yes.
there's no guessing game, and there's no necessarily uncomfortable conversations about your budget and the what do they call it? Haggling.
Absolutely.
As far as like, okay, well, I know you said for 10 people you can give me 20 you know this, but how excuse me, how much more for, it kind of reminds me of the episode in is it New Jack City?
I don't know if it's Chris Rock.
It's Chris Rock. How much for one rib?
How much is for one?
Yeah, you're right. If I get 5 more bones, how much is that?
How much is that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it takes the guesswork out of it.
1000%.
And it makes it sounds like a more a much better process to come to you and have that conversation about what it is I need, because it's already there.
Yes.
So for someone that's starting out in the game, so to speak, is this something, when you talk about crafting the experience, because something also that struck me when you said, whenever you talk about this, it's always again, never about the food, it's about the experience, and that is what you are giving to folks, right? So as a new chef coming into this, or trying to get into the personal chef business, or doing the dinner parties, what's the most important thing that you feel like they need to be able to relate to the client as they're coming in, when they're talking about their needs? If I haven't had the opportunity if I don't have my menu and all that kind of stuff set up, but someone approaches me, how do we go through that process?
I am not a fan of shortcutting my own system. Okay. I'm really not. And anyone who works with me knows I'm very direct, and I believe in systems and structure, because that leads to excellence. Right. And I don't believe in operating outside of excellence. And so, when you enter into a situation half cocked, you're opening yourself up for that to be this is the type of client you're going to attract, and this is how you will be doing business. You're going to do the back and forth. You're going to do the uncomfortable conversations. You're going to do the arbitrary numbers that you're pulling out of the air for pricing. You're trying to operate within someone else's budget, someone else's menu. I mean, you're really you are not operating as an independent chef entrepreneur, right? And so I don't want to give a shortcut around the system. I am going to say, if you are going to do this, you should get the mentorship, get the guidance, so that you can get these things done up front. So you can sit down and craft an irresistible menu, so that when you're in there and you are and you're actually preparing this menu, it's coming from a place down in your soul. You know, I can't go and prepare, wings and meatballs and feel like this is something that moves my soul or spirit. I mean, and I'm nothing against wings and meatballs. I mean, I love wings and meatballs, but it's going to be it's going to be a chicken marsala meatballs, the mushrooms and marsala sauce, or there's going to be something I'm going to do to elevate that thing. But I need to have pre-thought that. I need to have pre-planned that. I need to be able to present someone, this is me on a menu, and this is what you can't get this anywhere and everywhere else, right? Right. You can only get this here, right? Because this is me. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to offer any advice to shortcut, to give somebody a way to short circuit operating in excellence and in doing this. You should seek out mentorship. You should seek out guidance from someone who's been there and done it and who has these shortcuts, because once you start down that road, it's very difficult to come back from that. Once you're the cheap caterer, once you're the, oh, this person will do it for that. Oh, this person will she'll just take your EBT card and get the groceries. And we're not doing all that. You think it don't? You think that don't happen? Yeah. Y'all put in the comments. Yeah. Y'all know. Right. Y'all know. People be like, well, if I buy the groceries, no. Right. I don't know where you done had them groceries. Would that be it? I don't know where them groceries was. You went and got them, and then you went to the mall. They sat in the back of your car, and now you gonna say I food poisoning your doggone guest? Absolutely not. It's not happening. So if you operate in a junky fashion, you're gonna be labeled as the janky, and you're gonna always get the janky people because they're gonna refer you. Oh yeah, she'll do it for $500. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, we're not gonna go down that road.
So preparing, when you're thinking about, preparing for a dinner party,
yes,
for the event, sounds like what you're saying too is that it really starts long before just walking in that door. Of course, we know that the prep piece, but there's so many intricate things that go into it to get to that point. Like you're saying about the calling the client 72 hours ahead of time and having those conversations. What type of tools do you have? Is there like certain types of equipment that you have that you feel like is it absolutely needed walking into this in order to be prepared for this?
That's a great question. And it's one that I think a lot of people would have. Am I taking my own tools? Do I use the clients, tools, their pots, pans, etc.? What do I need to take? And I have a recommended set of tools. I call it my go bag checklist. And so these are all the things that I need to make sure I have, that I'm going to have on hand to execute this event. Because again, I don't want to leave anything to chance, right? I don't know what these people have or don't have in their home, as far as pots, pans, etc. I want to be in control of that.
Right.
I want to be in control of my production. And so
Makes
therefore
sense.
I'm taking my own equipment. So, depending on your menu, and this is why the menu dictates everything. So you have, what your menu is this season or this year, your current menu, right? And so I know whether I need to have a grill pan packed or a immersion blender packed or what have you. But I do have all those things on a list. It's probably, it's too much for me to list here.
Right.
But you know what? I'll just go ahead and put it down in the description.
Okay.
I'll put a link to my go bag checklist, but it's a checklist that has everything that needs to be in your cleaning bag, everything that should be in your knife kit, everything that should be in your go bag, the pots, the pans, the whisk, the ladles, the therm, side towel, like all the things. So you don't have to guess, you don't have to think, and it's a checklist. So when you're packing your go bag, which for many people, that is something that they're doing. They don't have a separate set of stuff, so they actually have to pack it every time. It's a checklist. So yeah, do I have this? Do I have my business cards? Do I have, birthday candles? I mean, there's I got all kind of things there to make sure you're prepared for every situation when you get to someone's home. So then that's something you don't worry about,
right?
You're not worried about. You got that covered. So again, you're prepared. So then it gives you confidence. You're able to you provide a more enjoyable experience, but you enjoy the experience more when you're actually in the home on site because you're well prepared.
Okay. Now here's a question. If you're still doing personal chef work or the prep work, so to speak, and then you're doing the experiences where you're going and you're doing the dinner party, is it best to have two separate sets? Do you have your go bag and then you've got your prep bag?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, because we are personal chefs. So we're talking about the services a personal chef does.
Gotcha.
I know we talk about it on another whole episode about the differences there in the terminology, but there's not, I'm being a personal chef today. I'm doing a dinner party tomorrow. I am a personal chef all the time.
Gotcha.
I offer vacation chef services. I offer cooking classes.
Okay.
I offer private dining experiences. I offer meal prep. I offer kitchen demonstrations. I offer demos. Whatever all the services could be that I would offer. But I am a personal chef.
Okay.
That's my position.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
The services I offer, are personal chef is not the name of a service.
Okay.
It's who I am.
Well, okay.
I just want to make it clear.
Yeah.
Like, I am an independent chef entrepreneur. That is in the name of what we do. We are personal chefs.
Okay.
That's not the name of a service we provide.
Got you.
I have a personal chef gig tonight. Well, what type of event is it?
Gotcha.
Is it a dinner party? Is it a cooking class?
Okay.
Are you going to cook an Airbnb for a vacation chefing job? Are you doing a retreat? Those are the services. But we are personal chefs, no matter what the service is that we're doing. Okay. So as a personal chef, which means I'm always cooking in someone else's kitchen. Always.
Okay.
I have to have a go bag that I take with me in case a dinner party pop off. If a dinner party just pop off, I'm ready, because all of my stuff is packed, and I just keep it in the back of my SUV. But again, even if you don't, if you don't have the luxury yet of having two sets, one that's just like your personal stuff at home, and one that you use when you go out, then you have a checklist so that you can adequately pack your bag from the things you're taking from your kitchen, and you can just adequately pack it using that checklist. Is that
that does. Well, thank you for clarifying that, because I had I started splitting it. I started, viewing it as something completely different. But okay, I get that now. Now, when you're preparing your menu and dealing with your clients, how do you deal with prep for allergies? Food allergies, that type of thing, and people needing specific things like gluten allergies and that type of stuff.
Yeah. So for me and my business, and what I encourage for my coaching clients and students and mentees, is that you have pre-considered all of those things.
Okay.
We know people have nut allergies, corn allergies, soy allergies, dairy allergies, lactose intolerance, gluten allergies, celiac disease. We know that. This is not something we can avoid. It's not something you're going to have that. You're going to have vegetarian, vegan clients. You're going to have all of that. So you may as well pre-consider it when you're crafting your menu. When I do my signature menu masterclass and we're crafting out your menu, we are considering several factors that menu has a lot of jobs to do. The menu has to represent you, number one. It has to represent you and be something that means something to you, right? It comes from some place that this is something unique and special to you. It has to appeal to your ideal client. The second thing that menu has to do, because obviously we want it to attract them, right? It also should already be inclusive, right? In my business, we want to help people rediscover the joy of feasting together, right? And so everyone deserves that joy. Everyone. If I have a gluten allergy or a celiac disease, I shouldn't be made to feel like I'm the odd man out and there's a spotlight on you. Oh, you're special. You're different. Right. That's not creating an inclusive environment. And so when those people are honored and felt like, sometimes it may be the only time ever that they're actually considered.
Yeah.
That means something.
Yes, it does.
This is part of, this is what makes us stand out, right? Yeah. It's not the special, let me put the little flag in your burger that you're dairy free. You know what I mean? Let me call you out and shine a light. Here's the vegan person. Let's treat this person like a unicorn or some kind of, no, it's just already included in the menu. So when a client reaches out and says, hey, because for the client, the host who's booking this event, they may even feel, I've got two of my sisters gluten-free now, you know what I mean? And, her boyfriend's a vegan, so they see it as a problem. It's no problem. Yeah. Like this, it's not a problem at all. In fact, when you look here, these options here, maybe they're already naturally gluten-free. All of the, dairy-free, these are the desserts that are dairy-free. You already have it included. You're not having to make up anything on the spot. It's you pre-thought about inclusion when you crafted your signature menu. So then it's just a matter of pointing out to that client, these are the options that are already on my menu that suit, that will accommodate that preference. And of course, you will know the substitutions you can make if you need to. Like my corn chowder, like heavy cream and butter in there, because that's how I make it. Okay. But if it needs to be dairy-free, I know absolutely I'm going to use coconut milk because it goes really well. Now I'm going to add coconut milk, maybe add a little ginger in there because of coconut ginger. And I just change the soup just a little bit, but now it's completely dairy-free. No problem, right? It's not a big deal. And so it makes you appear to be the authority and expert that you are. You gain the client's trust. And that's the type of thing that earns you repeat business over and over again. Hey, if you're on this journey to turn your passion for cooking into a real business, you don't have to do it alone. You need to join the Chefista Collective. This is the place where you get the support that you need to accomplish the dream that you have. There are live master classes that take place, tons of resources in there. But the most important thing is you get to meet other chefs on the same journey. And we're in there celebrating our wins. All that's missing is you. This is your community, this is your tribe, and it's your time. So I'm offering you a 14-day free trial so you can hop in and see for yourself, because this is something that really can't be explained. It has to be experienced. This is the way you get this done faster, stronger, and better, because we do it together. So click the link in the description below to join the Chefista Collective completely risk-free.
So I'm sitting here, I'm listening. Getting hungry, listening.
Of course.
Just thinking about, all the deliciousness that you serve. So what I'm thinking about is the overall experience, right?
Yeah.
So what is your process for coming to that point of the experience? So you've got your menu, you've got the food. Do you have to have a conversation with the client beforehand to make it a specific experience, or is what you do just an experience, period? Which I know it is, but
Yeah, I know personally that
Mm-hmm.
it is. And I am always going to go back to my word, intentional.
Mm-hmm.
It may seem like this magical thing that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this was a magical evening that just happened. No, it didn't just happen.
Mm-hmm.
This has been planned.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I do has been planned. It's been pre-thought of. The
Mm-hmm.
special touches that I add, from the printed menus to the wax seals to the thank you card I leave behind to the flowers I put on the
Mm-hmm.
table to the conversation cards that we put on the table for the round ice balls or whatever, all the little things. Different chefs do different things. I have
Mm-hmm.
an amazing chef client who she makes little butter candles.
Mm-hmm.
So just like you put a compound butter on top of a steak, so she will go around and they'll light the candle, let the butter melt over the steak. I mean, these are little things that are like
Right.
the cute creative things that
Mm-hmm.
create an experience.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously she's pre-thought that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something she's added her special touch.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where that creative freedom comes
Mm-hmm.
in, right? It's like I'm going to be able to imagine up anything I want
Mm-hmm.
to craft this experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that in a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You can't necessarily do that as a caterer. You certainly can't do it in a food truck or any other place where you're just offering food. But we can dream up all types of extras, add-ons, I don't know what you want, features,
Mm-hmm.
different things that add value
Mm-hmm.
to the experience.
Mm-hmm.
That like what's going to make it different, what's going to make it special.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is with intention. These things are thought about, pre-planned in advance. And it's going to align with your brand,
Mm-hmm.
who you are.
So do you have to have a conversation with your client prior to?
In regards to what the experience
Well,
of doing?
I give you an example.
Mhm.
So like I do photography, I say I take pictures. But one of the things I do when I will shoot a wedding is I will ask the client, what are the memories you want to feel when you go back and you look at these photos?
Mm.
So do you have those type of conversations with the client, especially if it's something that they're booking for a special event, and not, I see this, oh, this looks like it'd be something nice to do. But if it's a particular event, do you have a specific conversation?
I want to, of course we have a conversation when they book.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
keep in mind, they're coming to us when they call or email.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen pictures, they've seen videos, they've seen video
Right.
testimonials from our clients.
Mm-hmm.
They've read 5-star reviews. They see the photos. We actually have a section on our website called Visualize the Experience. And they see table settings. They see the professionally dressed servers. They see
Mm-hmm.
like the chef in the kitchen. They see me tableside. Like they're already able to envision like how amazing this is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
because we have crafted the heart and soul experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what people are then
Mm-hmm.
coming to get,
Mm-hmm.
the heart and soul experience.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Yes.
so it's not a matter of like there's nothing really, and I don't want to make this as a blanket statement to say
Mhm.
like there's not anything that we would like change or do different,
Mhm.
but where appropriate, like, for example, if I'm going to bring tablecloths, for example, for whatever reason, I typically will ask that for a dinner for two. I don't know, because sometimes people bring out a card table and it look crazy. I'm like, should I bring a tablecloth? They're like, yeah, bring a table. So then I'll ask, like, like I have gold, white, purple, like, do you have a color theme or do you have anything? Yeah, I may ask something like that, but that's just a very specific thing. For the most part, I am coming here to experience. I'm experiencing your thing, right? The heart and soul, the experience is what we want. That's what we're paying for. We want to experience that. So really, we're bringing the experience with us. So
gotcha.
I really think the answer to your question is kind of no. I mean, we've spoken with the client, but what we are offering is our experience. We're not going to kind of change, because it is us. It's us. It's what we do. Right? That doesn't mean that I can't take one-off things, or when somebody has some crazy, amazing, innovative idea of something they're trying to pull off. I welcome that, because I still get to decide if I want to say yes or no.
Right.
I've had people say, hey, you know what? We got married in Costa Rica, and we want to have a small, like, reception just in our home for our family and friends who weren't able to come to the wedding. So we want to do Costa Rican food. See, I take that as a challenge. Like, ooh, I get to do Costa Rican food, which is obviously I'm not from Costa Rica. I'm not, but I take it as a challenge. Like, oh my gosh, I could pull it off. And then, so I am using that as a thing that can expand what I am already doing. It's just an opportunity for me to do something new and different.
Right.
But I get to say yes or no. Right. Like, yes, I will or not. And so now I'm creating this whole thing. I've done that with Colombian food during the World Cup. It's like, Uruguay's playing Colombia in the World Cup. Can you pull together like a Colombian meal? I'm like, yes, I totally can. Because it's just something I choose to take on. As a special thing, but I consider it and I go, you know what, this is going to be fun. And then I can, it gives me something to, be creative about and really pull it off. And it's like, wow, like, yeah, I really did that. I really made like a Danish meal when I've never been to Denmark, or I pulled off a Costa Rican meal. It expands my knowledge, but that's an exception. It's not the rule.
Gotcha. Okay. How important is it to be able to communicate with your staff? And, during these times.
Speaking my love language now, honey. Oh, wow. Where do I begin with this? I just had a class in the Chefista Collective last night, teaching literally about the anatomy of a dinner party.
Okay.
And I have a video that's like you're on the fly on the wall following me through a dinner party. And so it's like,
nice.
And so we watched it like a movie with popcorn. Like we were watching me execute this dinner party, so they could actually see it. These are the type of things I offer in my training. It's not just, again, I want you to see it. I want you to see how we do it, how it happens. And one of the main comments that we get back is like, it's amazing how you communicate, how you're communicating with your staff. Our clients tell us all the time. They're like, we know you must be communicating with each other because of how everything is running, but we don't necessarily see or hear you like specifically. It's almost like there's just like there's like a system, and there is. It's already pre-thought out,
right?
An already pre-established system where my folks have been trained not only on the mission, the vision, the why we do what we do, how we carry ourselves. This is the type of language we use. This is how we move in people's homes. This is how we respect their space. There's a whole thing to it, and then there's a flow to the night. It's literally one of my favorite things. I know I got a lot of favorite things. I know that. I know everything is my favorite thing. But truly, there's the joy of the cooking for the people and getting their feedback. But working with my team is it's one of my favorite things ever, because the communication with the team, again, it's not something you can necessarily implement on the night of the event. You should have been trained prior to and know your ways before you get there, so that it just runs like a well-oiled machine. They know exactly what they're supposed to do when they get there. We know what we're doing. So the chef or chefs, and the server or servers, right? So when we all come in and we bring the stuff in, right?
Mm-hmm.
We wait outside.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go in one trickling in somebody's house one at a time,
Uh-huh.
right? So if you pull up and we pull up, see chef, okay, there's chef, there's the serve,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now we're all here. We get out of the car, we grab the go bags and
Uh-huh.
the food bags, and then we walk in, we greet the host all
Mm-hmm.
at the same time as a team, make
Mm-hmm.
introductions. Servers, pew, they go off to the dining room. Show us where you want where we're eating. Show me where you want to set up. Do you have wines you want us to decant and pour? Where's your where's your outside trash can? Where are the extra trash bags? We're gonna find out all that in the beginning,
Uh-huh.
so we're not bothering this host at all during this dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Chefs are going into the kitchen. We sanitize and getting the counters ready, starting to get the food out, trying to fire off that first course to make sure we start on time.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of we know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then once the table's set or what have you, whatever the servers are
Mm-hmm.
doing, whatever they're doing, their part, they come right back in the kitchen and they know what their role is in helping the chefs get.
Mm-hmm.
So they're immediately going to say, okay, chef, they're going to find the best place to plate up the courses.
Mm-hmm.
So I just call it find the chef's best place to plate. And they'll say, chef, this is a nice long counter right here. Is this where you want to plate? Look back. Yep, that's it. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
They getting that all sanitized down. And then we have a printed menu, the same menu the clients will have on their plate settings. We keep one in the kitchen so they know what's coming first. Oh, okay. Apps first. They get the app plates out. Boom. They get that ready to go. Then when it's time to plate, they're communicating with us the whole time. Okay, chef, it's, they're like 6:30, like say we arrived at 6, starting at 7. 6:30, chef, heard, 6:30. 6:45, chef, 15 minutes, heard, 6:45. Go ahead and ice the glasses. Boom. It's 5 minutes till 6:55. Boom. I'm firing. I'm going to go ahead and get them seated because they're mixing in. Go ahead and get them seated and do warm towel service. Boom. Okay, chef, warm towel service done. We ready to roll. So now I'm plating that hot appetizer. They're there switching plates out. So I don't have to move. I'm plating. Boom. They switch that one out. Give me a blank plate. I'm plating, switch it out, move. It's a system. It's like it's like conducting a symphony orchestra. You see how excited I am about this. Right? Like you see how excited I am. This is like I live and breathe for this because it's just my brain operates in systems. It's just how my brain's always operated. So when something is like moving systematically and like beautifully, I mean, it's just like, it's amazing. But that doesn't happen just by happenstance, right? It's pre-planned, pre-trained. And even if a new person's coming in that night, like the first time, you're new, the newbie server or whatever showing up to their first event. I mean, the other server, it's just like they just get them right into the rotation. They see how things are being done and they flow right into it because it's such a strong system. It's easy to just flow into. So I know I probably over answered that question. But I love, it's part of what impresses the client, right? Like, wow, like you people are like amazing. People always ask me, how do you get 5 courses done in 3 hours? Like, my niece, she's like, I will cook all day to make that food. Like, how are you doing it? Well, it's because we're prepared. We pre-thought about the production plan and what's gonna go when. As far as like the menu, they chose this, and this. This is what's on the menu. So because they chose the sticky toffee pudding cakes, that has to bake 45 minutes. So I can't wait till dessert time to put those in the oven. I know that's got to go in after salad course.
Right.
I got to go ahead and get those in the oven. You know what I mean? Probably before the salad course. Like really, like after soup, they need to go ahead and bake. So, but I already know that. You are watching this because you know there has to be more. You're tired of cooking your heart out without seeing it in your bank account. Maybe you're thinking you need a culinary degree or that you'll have to work 80-hour weeks in a restaurant first. I'm here to tell you that that's simply not true. I was just like you, stuck in a corporate job at 40 years old, dreaming of turning my passion for cooking into something more. Now I run a $500,000 a year personal chef business, and I've been featured in Forbes magazine and Ebony and even on the Food Network. But here's what really matters most. I've helped hundreds of other passionate cooks just like you do the same thing. No culinary degree required, no crazy hours, just a proven system that works. That's why I created the 5-step personal chef Kickstart strategy. This guide breaks down exactly how to build a business that gives you freedom, create experiences clients can't resist, craft an irresistible online presence, land your first high-paying clients, and start making money doing what you love. No fluff, no theory, just the exact steps I used to build my business and that my students are using right now to build theirs. Click the link in the description below to get the 5-step personal chef Kickstart strategy. Do not let another day go by wondering what if. Your future as a successful personal chef starts right now.
Okay, I got a couple of questions.
I know you do.
I do.
Right?
I do. So, how important is the menu, your menu choice, when you are creating, or a personal chef, when they are creating their menu to put out there to the clients? Is that also part of the process that you have to think about, the time frame in which you are, so if you choose this particular course, you have to think about, okay, how long is it going to take us to get it done, and this and that. So does that go into the process, I guess, is what the question is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is so I just love talking about this. I'm giddy, honestly, because it's when you're crafting your menu way back when you were working with Chef Lisa and you got the menu masterclass. Chef Lisa told you that when you're crafting that menu, it has to come from your heart. It has to appeal to your client. It also has to be able to be executed in 3 hours in somebody's home. Like, logistically, can this be achieved or not? If it can't be logistically achieved in someone else's kitchen, in their home, you can't serve it. You cannot add it to your menu, right? Then next, can it be plated beautifully? There are things that I have never made it on my things I make better than anybody in the world. My red stew chicken. I know you know my red stew chicken,
Shrimp and grits.
honey. Well, the shrimp and grits I can plate. But the red stew chicken, it's just it's a stewed chicken dish. It's a stew. It's a stewed chicken dish over rice, some cabbage, and some plantain, right? I mean, and a little piece of cornbread. But like, how do I plate that elegantly, Michelin star style? Doesn't mean I can't do it. I just haven't done it yet. I haven't taken the time to figure that out yet. So it's never made it on me. One of the best dishes. It's just not. Actually, that's not true. Actually, I just, after 15 years, it finally made it on my menu spring, summer last year. Because I made it into a spring roll. The red stew chicken, the cabbage, was all in the spring roll, the plantain with honey. Anyway, with a little cilantro aioli. So I finally got my red stew chicken on the menu as a sliced on the bias with a little, like, beautifully plated. But I had to figure out, how can I get this on the menu so that how can it be executed logistically, and how can it be plated beautifully? So those are like the checks. Your menu has to pass these checks. And so that's what we do in that menu masterclass, is make sure it checks. Because if I want to have a lamb shank on my menu, I cannot do that. I cannot execute that in somebody's home in 3 hours. Slow cooked, like beef stew, or you want to do smoked brisket. I mean, it's impossible. It cannot be executed on site. It cannot be on the menu. So all of these things are thought through. And then once they've made your menu, because you can execute them, when a client actually selects their choices from your menu, then it's part of your planning time to sit down and, okay, they got the this and the that. So we got 3 things that have to go in the oven. You know what I mean? 2 things have to be on the stovetop. Something that has a double process. I know I'm getting into but if I have, for example, like a little baked Gouda mac and cheese or something like that, I don't know, in a little skillet, whatever the case may be, like, gonna be served. Well, I have to boil noodles on the stovetop, right? Then I gotta put it in a different vessel, and then I gotta bake it. So now that's a 2-step process. So I might need to get those noodles on when I first get there, first thing, before the appetizer goes out. So I can go ahead and get that off the burner, so I can use my burners for things like making the sauces and things. So my point is, I can't think about that on the spot. Because I need to be interacting with the clients. I need to be smiling. I can't be in the weeds when I'm in somebody's home. Right. So I've already pre-thought out exactly the order in which I'm going to do everything before I get there.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So with that being said, and I know you always intention, systems is what you say. System. So what if something goes wrong with the system? What if there's what how do you pivot when and how difficult is it to pivot when you're doing a dinner party, when you meet some, a challenge? And can you give us an example of a challenge that you've come upon?
Yes. Yes, I can. How many are there? Let's see. You have to be able to pivot. This is where, and this is, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of comments on this, what I'm about to say right here. But this is why we are executive chefs. Executive chefs are decision makers, problem solvers. We're not just following somebody else's instruction. Executive chef has to be able to solve the problem. The gas just went out. What are we doing, chef? Right. It's not the line cook making that decision in a restaurant. It's executive chef. As a personal chef, we are executive chefs, right? We have to make these decisions. You get to an Airbnb, ovens don't work. We've had that happen.
Oh, wow.
Got to a tree house. There's an Airbnb. You said a specific story. Here's the story. We have an amazing treehouse Airbnb here in Charlotte, and this was our first time going there. So we you can see the pictures in the listing, and and all of that. It's a cute little thing. It's gonna be a candlelight dinner for two. It's gonna be cute, so cute in the treehouse, right? And on the menu was our chocolate souffle. Great, right? Well, 2 little souffles, whatever. Had the production plan a lot. Get there. There's 0 oven. Like, an oven does not exist in this place.
Oh, wow.
There's no oven in the treehouse. Didn't just ran it like, oh, we're here now. This dinner for two is happening. And we have souffles. Souffles are the most sensitive thing to bake, even when you have like a perfect oven, right? And so we have 2 little burners, no oven of any kind. So look outside. There's a gas grill out there. Boom. Go out there, because there's always a chef and a server. So why you don't go to an event alone ever? So someone can go and get something or do something to fix a thing that needs to be fixed. Run to the stove, right? Or whatever needs to happen, right? When you a one-woman show, one-man show, and there's a mistake, a forgotten thing, you're screwed. So the gas, there's a gas grill outside. Go crank up that gas grill and get it to 375 degrees. And leave it shut, right? And then once it was up to temp, we got them souffles in there. Nobody breathe. And then we just pray, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know they're going to taste good regardless. Are they going to rise up and be a souffle? But you know what? Worked like a charm. And then it's just another thing you've overcome, another lesson you've learned, of course. If it's an Airbnb, maybe ask them if there's an oven in there. Yeah. But those are the types of things. You just have to be prepared to pivot. And that's just where your professionalism comes in. That's where your expertise comes in. It's where your critical thinking skills, your problem solving skills, your deductive reasoning skills come in. See, this is not just, it's not just cooking. We're not just home cooks that are trying to be chefs. No, these folks have to solve more problems than then people have to solve online in a restaurant, because they're not in charge, but we're in charge of everything. So all those things happen all the time. The thing that I would say, unexpected things, is that you have to be able to think on the fly. You have to be able to, you can make a quick substitution if you need to. You can see what's in the pantry, see what you can create in the, can I create something with a pot on top of I seriously, like, you start being MacGyver sometimes, but it's rare, right? Yeah. But my goal is, at the end of the day, the client has no idea what even happened, or if they do, which in that case, obviously they'd be like, oh yeah, there's no oven here. And then they're just like, whoa, these people are like amazing. Like, they figured it out, you know? So, I don't know how you teach that, but it's just, being prepared. If you're prepared in every other way, when a hiccup comes in, you have the time and the kind of the mental space to deal with the hiccup, right? Because everything else is already organized, right?
Well, awesome. Well, this has been a great
Is
conversation.
that it? I answered all the things?
Yeah, absolutely you
Yay.
did.
That's
You
good.
absolutely did. So let's tell the people how they can get in touch with you and
Yes.
stay in touch. And don't forget to reiterate, tell them again about the link for
Yes,
the equipment.
I'm
for
going
the
to include
kitchen.
that checklist
Mhm.
in the link. Thank you for listening today. I hope you learned a lot about the anatomy of a dinner party. You can find out more about me, my coaching, my community, and grab that link down in the description. And always, please share this podcast with people you know would love it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next episode.